Welcome back. Thank you, Toby. Here's just the flowers that we got growing. Some coleus, some herbs, hosta, more coleus. Got some orchids over here and a staghorn fern. And the planter's starting to bloom. These are all zinnias. And again, I don't remember what this is. But the zinnias are doing well. We got zinnias all along here, and the marigolds are right behind them. And Toby, don't eat my plants. I got various peppers that I'm growing. This is, I can't remember what this is, but I really like the red, so I'm going to propagate it here shortly. These are my dwarf tomatoes. They're starting to bloom. There's all my seedlings for the front yard or the garden down the road that I put in. Put in a 50 by 30 foot garden. However, I missed my window for a spring garden. It's going to be summertime, so we just planted corn, squashes, zucchini, pumpkins, and melons. Maybe some sunflowers, some various things. Speaking of sunflowers, they're getting big. I topped this one to try and get the axial growth. And we got one over here that's in bloom. It's got 4 on it. I got a couple more that are starting to bloom. I'll show them to you when I get to them. Pie plate hydrangea is getting really big. Little hanging pot. My topiary. Staghorn. These are my house plants that spend more time outside than they do inside. Let's see here. Flower bed's doing well. Starting to get fruits on the pepper that I was talking about. So we got fruits starting. And these are all seedlings that came up in the flower bed, so I just dug them up and transplanted them out here. These coleus right here, I started from seed. This is some morning glory that a friend of mine gave me, so I'm going to try and control it in a pot. Here's a marigold that's blooming. Got more marigolds right along here. Got a couple of these. This is an aquatic plant that you can grow above water or underwater. I'm going to start propagating it too. So a friend of mine gave me some tomatoes, so I planted those. Those are Rutledge tomatoes. And in front, right here, the 2 red plants. Those are Chinese multicolored spinach in the amaranth family. And here I've got butternut squash and various different kinds of peppers. These are all different kinds of peppers. So I'm going to grow them along this trellis so I can stake them up. And another butternut squash. And I've been working on my my potting area. I need to build a potting bench with the compost pile number 2. And here's some more tomato plants that a friend of mine gave me. These have fruits on them already. And there's some dill in the background right there that are getting bigger. Some are in bloom over in the garden. More coleus and a grass. It's the rabbit's foot, or the rabbit's foot. Some thyme, Another potted plant. There's some more peppers right here and here. And this grass will be really neat when it blooms, when it gets the flower heads. That's what I'm growing it for. There's my peppers that I overwintered. I'm bonsaiing it at this point. Black-eyed Susans and some coleus mixed together. More coleus. This plant right here, South Carolina native, just flowers like crazy when it goes. Bananas are getting big. More sunflowers. They're about ready to pop. Beans. See if I can get a shot of this. There's a whole bunch of beans right there. Well, we got beans. We're going to be eating fresh beans here shortly. There we go. There we go. We got beans. The cilantro is starting to go to flower, which is what I want. There's some turnips, dill. Look at how big the peas are getting. They're starting to bloom. This variety right here gets really tall, so the peas are up here. And this is all this flower right here. This is all bok choy. But I'm going to grow it for seed. That's why I'm letting it do its thing. Mustard greens right here. And there's a nice big turnip. You can see how big it is. A couple more over here. The lettuce is starting to bolt. We're still using it in the endive. Look at this. That's a cucumber. We got another one right here. The cucumber plant looking good. There's a bunch of them on here. And then we got more beans over here. These are all beans. My carrots right here and here. But they're not even coming close to plumping up. And this big pile of mess is radishes mixed in with turnips, kohlrabi, you name it. We'll just let it keep growing. The radishes are going to seed, which is fine. Got new lettuce coming online right here, mixed in with flowers and radishes. This is collard greens mixed in with flowers and a few carrots they transplanted. More cucumber in the corner, more beans. Oh, the squash is starting to produce. There's squash in there. Another squash. More sunflowers. Got some nice beans coming on, or peas coming on over here. These are getting fatter. They're looking pretty good. Hopefully we'll be picking these soon. We had a heat spell, so I was a little worried about these not producing. Look at these kale, looking good. And then I got dill starting to flower, which will be good for the cucumbers. Anyways, you don't have to do a lot of weeding when you grow your garden this thick. And I'll run out front and that'll be it. Yeah, look at all those peas. You can see them. Here's the Confederate Jasmine. It smells amazing. You can smell it all the way through the yard. And over here, you can see all the flowers on the tomatoes. They haven't set fruit yet, but they're about to. They're getting big. And various other plants that I mixed in here. Got a little bit of bug damage out here. There's some basil back there, some amaranth. And I think, not sure what this is. I can't remember anymore. There's my horse manure pile and my screed that I used to sift it. This is doing amazing. This is like just gold. And I'm still working on this big pile of compost. All right. Thanks for coming.